Over the past couple of seasons, the Pittsburgh Steelers have put a ton of investments on the offensive line, and it is officially paying off. This unit is coming together, and today we're going to talk about what this unit showed against the Cincinnati Bengals. To me, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have one of the most underrated offensive lines in the NFL. We got guys like Broderick Jones, who's definitely taking the next step. To me, what I've seen from Broderick Jones over the past 3 to 4 weeks has been very impressive. The guy is doing a really good job being consistent with the technique. He's hitting his landmarks. He's using his hands well. And what I mean by that when I say he's doing a great job using his hands is he's doing a great job using independent hands specifically. He'll put the right hand on a guy. He'll drop that hand if it gets swatted. He'll put the left hand on the guy. He'll drop that hand if the guy's not leaning into him. If a guy's trying to hit him with a speed move, he'll go back and forth with those hands. And that's the way you want to pass protect as an offensive tackle. But it's not just Broderick Jones just having success. Mason McCormick looks like the real deal. Zach Frazier has obviously shown us so much upside. And of course, left guard, left tackle have been very, very consistent. You got Isaac Seumalo at left guard. Dan Moore has been very, very good as well. Some people think Moore might actually end up being the most underrated offensive tackle in the NFL. Some people think he's a top 10 left tackle. To me, the Steelers have a good offensive line. And we're going to talk about what they showed against the Bengals. And we're going to look at some of these plays that really impressed me. I'm excited for this one. Let's just get right into it. So one of the interesting things that happened coming into this season is we had 3 really good center prospects coming out of the draft. Zach Frazier was one of them. The other 2 are Jackson Powers-Johnson and Graham Barton. And all 3 of these guys are really, really good centers. Powers-Johnson just started playing center. He was the guard prior to that, but he's played center for the last 3 games. And all 3 of these guys are already top 7 to 8 centers. They're all very, very good football players. With Zach Frazier specifically, one of the things you're going to see oftentimes on tape is the way this guy uses advanced techniques. So on this one here, he's in pass pro. And look at how he takes number 93 down. You're going to see him utilize what is called a snatch move. It's essentially just going to utilize the defensive lineman's momentum against him. So in this one here, the defensive lineman gets the left arm in Zach Frazier. He's going to push Frazier backwards. And look at Frazier with his right arm counter and essentially push this guy's arm downwards. And with that, the leverage of number 93 is going to go downwards. And 93 is going to end up getting off balance. He's going to fall into the ground. And with that, Frazier wins this rep, right? He does a great job just kind of jumping on top of him, making sure he's not able to get to the quarterback. But this is one of the things Frazier has done a really good job at this season. He's been very consistent in pass pro. The hand placement has been really, really good. His ability to out leverage these guys and really move these guys off the spot in pass pro has been absolutely incredible. And we're starting to see this guy absolutely put it together. He's doing a great job with the movement, the technique. He's doing a great job leveraging and just anchoring down on the offensive line. And the footwork is phenomenal. You know, Frazier's only going to get faster in his processing. He's only going to be able to see things quicker and quicker. And he's only going to get better and better. But for him to be as good as he is very impressive, if you guys ask me. I also want to talk to you guys about a couple of these key plays that the Pittsburgh Steelers had, including this 23-yard touchdown pass to Calvin Austin. You know, one of the things that I think is being underrated or even overlooked a little bit by Steelers fans specifically is how often the Steelers are utilizing a 5-man protection. You know, never overlook the fact that a different offensive coordinator runs different schemes and they call for different type of protection calls with the offensive line. And with the Steelers, one of the things we're seeing a lot this season is these guys are only utilizing 5 offensive linemen for the most part to block the guys up front. So what that does is it actually allows you to have more wide receivers running routes. It allows you to utilize at least 4 guys in the actual route concepts downfield. Sometimes the running back stays in the chip and then ultimately ends up releasing. Sometimes the running back has a straight up route as well coming out of the backfield. And sometimes he's a check and release guy. But oftentimes you're seeing the Steelers now utilizing a 5-man protection. So what that means is the offensive linemen up front got to be able to win. The 5 guys up front have to be able to hold their own against the 4 guys coming. Of course, you also might have blitzes coming off the sides as well, but I think it's an important concept to understand because, you know, if you're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and if an offensive line's not a good offensive line, what you're going to actually end up doing is you're going to put this tight end right here, and you're going to have him chip on number 91. You're going to put the running back to chip on number 58. You're going to keep those guys in and ultimately only run 3 guys in the actual route concept. But with the Steelers, they have that trust in the offensive line unit. I'm seeing more 5-man protection this season than we saw last season from the Pittsburgh Steelers up to this point. And it's something that I personally prefer. I prefer my offensive linemen to be able to win 5 versus 4, right? Because that allows the quarterback to have more options downfield. It's just something that I wanted to kind of point out because it's something the Steelers didn't do as much last year. And keep in mind, this is something that teams in the NFL do only if you have a good offensive line, right? So I just kind of point that out. Sometimes offensive line stats also are a little overrated because of that. But I want to shift focus, and I want to show you guys a couple more snaps. There are positive plays that this unit ultimately had. And I want to give some credit to some of these guys because I want you guys to recognize which guys are actually doing a really good job. So Dan Moore Jr. here has a one-on-one against Trey Hendrickson. Hendrickson's going to end up trying to head to the inside. He's going to try to jump back to the outside. And then look at Dan Moore not only get the hands to this guy, but then look at him snatch him downwards. Look at him break that contact, pull this guy forward, and then you're going to see the defensive end falls into the ground. That's a great job right there to be able to snatch him down. It's the same exact thing Zach Frazier did just a little while ago. Now, Moore has given up a ton of sacks this season, but I think a part of that also comes down to the fact that it's a different season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? The offensive scheme is different this year. They're doing things a lot different this year than in past years on the offense side of the football. But I think over the last couple of weeks, this guy's been very solid. And it's in both pass pro and in run blocking situations. You're going to see this one here. This one's going to pop for a 10-yard touchdown. And Moore's going to do a really, really nice job on this one, being able to pick off the inside linebacker. And more than that, you're also going to see him double team, right? And this is one of those things where you also got to recognize sometimes stats don't really matter. But here's a great example of a play that this guy ultimately helps make. So you're going to see him do a really nice job helping the guard here. Number 91 is going to slant towards the inside, which means you got to pass it off now because this is a zone run towards the right. So Moore's going to recognize that, as is the left guard, and he's going to pass him off to the left guard here. He's going to make contact with number 91. You're going to see him pass it off. The linebacker is going to slant towards the right because of the fact that the defensive linemen are slanting to the left. You're ultimately trying to run a run stunt. And the offensive tackle is going to do a great job getting to number 59 here. Now look at him just push this guy out of there. That's a really, really good job right there by Moore. It's a really nice job by the guys up front. To be able to block this properly, pass it off, right? The Bengals are trying to ultimately confuse some of these guys. But even more than that, you look at some of these other guys on this side over here. Watch the right guard on this one. McCormick's going to do a really, really nice job being able to cut off number 90. He's going to get to the inside of him, and that right there allows this play to also work because that defensive tackle right there has the backside pursuit. On top of that, he's playing the 2-eye, which means he has this A-gap. So when the running back gets this and then starts to cut it back over here, this guy should be the guy that scrapes down here and makes this tackle. This block right here is a big part of this play ultimately being able to score the touchdown that it does. That's just a really, really good job to not allow this guy to scrape down and make the play. Broderick Jones also does the same exact thing. His guy also has that same potential to scrape down and make the play. Broderick Jones is also going to end up getting to the inside of 58. And he's going to do a really good job with the rip technique. And he's ultimately going to be able to stop him the same way McCormick does. And Najee Harris scores a 10-yard touchdown. It's just a really, really good job by the guys up front. You're going to get a 29-yard screen pass by Jalen Warren. Really, really nice job by the guys up front once again. And you're going to get a couple of nice blocks made from some of these guys. And I want to show you guys some of these blocks. So we'll use the end zone angle. You guys can see the actual play right here. 29 yards. But watch the guys up front here. From the center to guard to tackle, watch all three of these guys do a really, really nice job. Frazier's going to end up actually getting tripped up. So he's the one guy that's not going to actually really make a block. But his guy here, 59, ends up tripping him. So you guys will see that here. 59 trips, takes him down. But watch the other guys. Watch Broderick Jones get out here and watch him pick off this defensive lineman over here. Watch him get out to number 99 and then look at him block out number 99. It's a great block right there. At the same time, watch the rookie right guard here. He has a really, really tough block here because he has to take on number 92. He has to sell it and make sure number 92 doesn't come backside. And look at him pick off the linebacker that was on the right side of the other linebacker, right? That's a great job to be able to slow him down just enough that 57 can't make the play. To me, this is a really, really good job by all of these guys. And what's crazy is every single one of these guys is young as hell. And every single one of these guys is going to be with the Steelers for the next 10 years, potentially, right? So to me, this is a really, really good play. And these are the blocks these guys are already making, right? So the Steelers, to me, have so much upside on that offensive line. And we haven't even seen the first round tackle in Troy Fautanu. So we don't even know how good he can be. And truth be told, he looked good in preseason as well. Now, I don't really know where he'll end up playing because I think Mason McCormick looks really good at right guard. Of course, he has to develop, but, the upside's there with McCormick as well. And he was a 4th-round pick, right? So you're ultimately going to want to keep a guy like that on the football field. The Steelers have a lot of really, really good problems that you'd ultimately want to have. Also, as you guys see some of these plays, keep an eye on them. It's 5-man protection. The running back's going to release into an actual route. This is a hard thing to do. I'm telling you guys, not every single offensive line can do this. One of the things that the Raiders head coach, Josh McDaniels, told us like 2 years back is his philosophy. And you guys can Google this. His philosophy on offensive linemen is that if you could get the ball out quickly, well, your offensive linemen don't really matter. If a quarterback can 1-step, 3-step drop, get the ball out, well, as a defensive line, you're not going to get home anyways. And that's his philosophy on offensive linemen, right? Chip if you need to help these guys. Use these tight ends or running backs as influence guys, and I'll show you what that means utilizing this play here. I think this is the running back here. Watch how he's going to influence number 91. Look at how he's going to block this guy by setting up, and he's going to make sure this guy can't go to the outside, right? So what this guy has to do is he has to release to the outside of number 91, right? He can't just run forward even if he has a route, because you want to influence and slow this guy down, right? So you're going to release to the outside. It doesn't matter if you hit him, right? The whole point of this play is to influence this guy. Now, keep in mind, every team does do this to a certain extent. It just depends on how often you're doing it, right? But for the most part, the Steelers are doing a really good job with utilizing the 5-man protections. The offensive linemen are doing a good job holding up. And the Steelers obviously exploded on that side of the football in this game here, right? And, of course, Russell Wilson was on fire. I mean, this is the best that I've seen this guy play over the last 3 years, right? His 2 years with the Broncos, being here with the Steelers up to this point, the guy was on fire, man. He felt comfortable out there. He looked good, and he was slinging it. And I'm not surprised that the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the best offenses in the NFL. And I think some of it also is because of the fact that they have their, it's a first-year quarterback. The offensive line is young, right? So you got to give it a little bit of time. It's similar to the Carolina Panthers, right? We're seeing the Panthers absolutely take off. I want you guys to watch this play here and keep an eye on Broderick Jones, man. Watch this guy do a really, really nice job just being physical, right? Sticking with the block here. You're going to see him actually crush one of these guys right there. Just a really, really, really good physical block by Jones. And this one right here pops for 20 yards. And of course, Najee Harris also deserves a lot of credit for being able to see that cutback lane, right? He's going to do a really nice job being able to see it. Mason McCormick, you got to give him credit. Once again, look at how he's going to get to the inside of number 93. He's going to influence 93 upfield to the outside of him, right? So to the left side of McCormick from where we're looking at it. I look at him get to the inside of 93. 93 goes to the left. And that right there creates that cutback lane, right? That right there creates that lane. So, again, really, really good job by so many of these young guys. I want to wrap this video up and just show you guys a couple more of these explosive plays that they had. Because they had a lot of these, especially in the second half. You're going to get a 25-yard touchdown pass. Russell Wilson's going to do a great job creating. And the offensive line also do a great job with the 5-man pass protection once again. And you're going to hit this for a 25-yard touchdown. Again, just a beautiful job, design, execution, everything about it looks really, really nice. And you see the guys up front holding their own as well, right? It's a good job here by the 5 guys up front. 5-on-4 situation, the running back's going to just release after he makes sure the inside linebacker doesn't blitz. Russell Wilson steps up, takes a hit, and delivers a nice 25-yard touchdown pass. Check this one out. This one's a 3rd and 9. This was with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Look at what the Cincinnati Bengals are showing up front. You're basically putting 9 guys on the line of scrimmage. That's crazy right there. And of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to hit for 43 yards. They're going to ultimately make these guys pay for that one. A great job by the offensive lineman. Let's break this play down a little bit because this is hard right here. Now, keep in mind, the slide's going to be a big part of this play ultimately working. They're going to do a full slide towards the right. And I love how Russell Wilson makes the adjustment on the offensive line here. He's going to see what's kind of happening up front. He's going to control the situation. He's going to bring in the tight end. And he's going to full slide this towards the right. Now, what that means is, and he's going to have to make one more adjustment here. He's going to put the running back to the right side. What he's going to do on this one is he's going to say every player is going to slide over here towards the right. It's going to be a full slide, and then the running back is going to have to come and take this backside over here to the left. Now, you're going to have to throw this hot regardless because they're still going to end up bringing one extra guy, which means you're going to have single coverage, right? But again, full slide to the right, and it works. Like, the quarterback's kept clean on this one. That's a really, really good job right there by Russell Wilson to be able to change the protection, bring in the tight end, full slide it one way, and he hits it for 43 yards, right? That's how you know someone has command of an NFL offense right there. To be able to make all those calls that he ultimately makes. I mean, look at this from the beginning. Look at this. He sees the play. He's going to call it out, make those adjustments. I mean, this is the communication that sometimes takes 7-8 weeks to really have. Right? And again, Russell Wilson's a veteran quarterback. He knows how to run an offense. You put those calls in there for veterans the way Arthur Smith obviously has for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the quarterbacks here. And it's just perfect, man. I really, really like where the Pittsburgh Steelers are right now. Obviously, there's going to be struggling games, right? And I think one of the reasons why they'll struggle in certain games is because of the fact that they have some young players on the offensive line, right? And I think that's going to be one of the things that they'll have to continue to get better at. These guys just got to take snaps. But I think sometime down the line, it's going to really come together for the Steelers. And it's probably going to be when the playoffs come around, truth be told. I think there's a good chance that as the season kind of comes to an end, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be very, very difficult to beat. They have probably the best defense in the NFL. Very solid young offensive line kind of coming together. They have these various packages as well. You got Justin Fields here running a read option, which the Bengals obviously were not prepared for. I don't think Justin Fields played any other snaps. Don't quote me on that, but I don't remember while watching this game him run any other plays. Just a really good job. Just a read option. He does a really nice job pulling it, and the guy that's supposed to have containment lost containment, and Justin Fields ends up being able to pull it. And the Pittsburgh Steelers had the most dominant day they've had on the offense side of the football against the Cincinnati Bengals. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time with another video.